Hello, and welcome to show number 9 of Global Perspectives with Dr. Michael Leitman, where we discuss what's happening in the world today, and a lot is happening. Hello, Dr. Leitman.
Hello, everyone.
Today's topic is new corona outbreaks. Dr. Leitman, as you mentioned before, actually from the very beginning, you said it's going to be here for a long time to come. It's not going to go away so quickly, if at all. And your prediction so far has come true 100%. All over the world, we are seeing countries reopening their economies, rolling back lockdown, canceling quarantine because they had a decrease in coronavirus cases. But as soon as they reopen their economies, we're seeing an increase and resurgence of the virus. Okay, just a few notable examples. The United States, Russia, France, Israel, Argentina, Brazil, which never really went into lockdown, Italy, Germany, South Korea, and many other countries where basically wherever they are reopening their economy, we're seeing that the virus is coming back with vengeance. Worse yet, in Latin and North America, we're seeing a new strain of the virus. According to what scientists are saying, it's a new mutation. I think it's called something like G614, something like that, which is up to 10 times more contagious than the original coronavirus, explaining the huge number of cases in the Americas. So Dr. Leitman, where is the logic in opening up the economy when what happens in practice is that you have the virus spreading all over the place again?
I think so too. I didn't say that we should open the economies. I said that the coronavirus will not disappear. It won't go away. It'll stay with us. And for many years, if at all. And what should we do? We should build an economy that will function according to, on the one hand, the coronavirus, that we can't freely be physically close to each other, so it has to coincide with that. On the other hand, that nonetheless we will operate such industrial parks, education, and other realms and systems and offices that we can't do without. We need food. We need to provide food. We have to do many things, but let's say that for the basic things, we have to activate 20% of the acting population, and all the rest we don't need. Not cars and clothes and not tourism. Do something in a very modest and normal way, like it was supposed until the 20th century, where came the outburst, especially after the Second World War, where came this outbreak of different unnecessary industries.
What you're saying sounds like a complete transformation of industry, of education, of society. It doesn't happen overnight. Basically, what you're saying is we'll quarantine all the people, rebuild civilization, and then open it. It doesn't work like that. People don't know how to build it, what to build, what to keep, what to change, what to throw away.
So nature, the virus itself, will do it instead of us. It'll cost us much more dearly, both in number of casualties and also in monetary loss.
Let's say I'm some sort of an executive, okay? I'm some sort of a manager, or even I'm in some sort of a head of a state, okay? And my country has coronavirus, and the whole country is on lockdown. Now, I understand that if I open it up, it'll come back. But if I don't open it up, then everything that was built until now will be destroyed. And I don't have any
Not everything. Not everything that was built will be destroyed. I understand that. We need the food industry, clothing industry, many things. But we also have many such industries, small, let's call them industries, that we don't need. And they're actually the ones that cause us to pass the virus to each other.
But you're still talking about leaving only 20% of what we had until now. So 80% is going to the trash, basically.
It'll go one way or another. Only that either it'll go through excessive losses in an uncontrolled way, or that we decide in advance, let's start cutting down, and then we see. Go into any office. Stock exchange, stock markets doesn't work. All the boutiques don't work. All the, special things also don't work. Excessive things. People will stop using, stop buying, stop trading things that in the past were very valuable but were redundant. Meaning the entire industry and all the trade, buy and sell of goods that aren't necessary, you can simply shut down. Let it stand still for a few months. Nothing will happen because you don't use it anyway. So don't reopen them artificially. Let's start with that.
These 80% were given some sort of sustenance. People were living off of that. They have no income right now, and they have a lot of obligations. What are they going to do?
I don't know. That's something else. But one way or another, that's how it is. I'm sure that jewelry shops won't make money. Open them, all of them. That only these shops will be open. No one will go in. No one. Watch shops, you name it. Everything that in the past used to be. Even if now you start operating the travel industry, tourism, it'll be 10% of the way it used to be. So how will it help you to reactivate it?
What you're saying is that those, not just industries, but entire areas of commerce are gone. Whether you're on lockdown, not on lockdown, whether the stores are open or not, that part of the industry is gone anyway already.
Okay? Yes.
So those people who were living off it are living right now on their savings, which are going to run out pretty soon. So basically,
or from the country, or their savings, or the country's savings, because they're demanding from the country. That for some reason, they think that the country has to cover their losses. I don't understand why.
Basically, what I'm saying is a prediction that in a few months, when the money runs out, we're going to have a very big crisis. People will not have money to pay their mortgages, they'll lose their homes, they won't be able to buy food for their kids, for themselves. They'll run out of money.
True.
So we have a few months, basically, before it erupts.
Yeah. True.
Okay.
This is what I want to say, that we have to do this in a controlled fashion, to really put on the brakes, gradually, to go into this great recess and not see it as a recess, but to see this as the new form of life between us, that this is the new society, new family, new country, and not that now come different circles with different interests pressuring the government, and the government opens their treasury and says, please hand it out. How will I give all those, let's say, jewelry shop owners, let's take an extreme example, how will I give them money now? What for? Why? What's going to happen? There's nothing to do. It's going to be a big loss for them, but the country has to keep its treasury in order to provide food for those in need. Because 50, 60, 70% of the population.
So we're talking about a very quick restructuring of the economy. Correct?
Mm-hmm. Right?
Okay. Can you detail the priorities of this economy? Because the country is going to have to redivide the budget. There's going to be less sources of income for the country, and it will have to redivide the budget. Can you describe the priorities of the division of the budget in the economy that we're going into?
I think that we're not talking about distribution or division here. We don't have the strength to do it. We don't have the army for it that can do these things. We don't know how to do it. We don't understand how to do it. I think that we should approach this problem from a different angle. I think that now we have to recruit forces for agriculture, food, for the food industry, and to be certain that we can provide everyone with their basic needs in terms of food, to start from scratch, basic food. And then every family, every person has to be registered and to get his basic food needs in order to survive, in order to be able to live his life, no more and no less. But this is something that it's a must. All of us have to care for this. Beyond that, in the meantime, I don't think that we need anything.
So the first priority is for the country to...
The priority has to be as follows: water, electricity, maybe gas, whoever uses it. This has to be more or less for free, too. Also, for people not to exaggerate in their use, but it has to be supervised. And food. I mean, basic needs. Clothing. Gradually, we're reaching such things that we can also give to the needy. And we have a surplus that's obvious. What you have now and is about to close, you have plenty of redundant things there in terms of clothing, and so on. Gradually, these kinds of things, we have to have kindergartens and schools for free, by the way. All these things are things that the government has to take upon itself, but not to pay to those that used to sell jewelry, and now they don't have buyers, and we have to cover that. We have to supplement their income. No? It's not supposed to work that way. In a few months, we're going to empty the treasury, and that's it.
What about housing?
Housing we need for sure. There has to be a law that everything remains as is, and that there has to be a government plan of how do we provide correct, free, relatively non-expensive accommodation for those people that right now have no place to live. Suppose a young couple, they want to get married. Where are they going to live? So we have to activate different kind of such plans and to build accommodation for ordinary people, ordinary citizens. And not that here we need to once again start our speculations with land and housing and so on.
I want to go back to, for a minute.
There has to be a revolution here, I'm telling you. It has to be a revolution, but still, it'll happen one way or another. But, you come to a revolution, either you do it gradually, with thought, with the help of scientists, with the help of, through discussions and so on. Or, people take to the streets and then they destroy everything, and what happens, happens. You'll have a new order.
I've never seen a revolution happening through scientists and discussions.
But here we see that it's up ahead. We have to do something. It's clear to us that up to 80%, not 80%, say 40% of our manpower will stay at home now. No work. And after that, there will come more and more. I suppose that it's up to 80%.
All right. I want to go back to the quarantine for a minute, because you said we opened it up too soon, and we can see that you were right. It's resurging everywhere, the virus. The thing is,
so, those 20% that we need, the necessary 20%, we have to provide them with such conditions that they'll be able to keep working without endangering them of passing on viruses to each other and other populations. To care for those 20% because they're feeding us.
What are we, the 80%, going to do in the meantime? Stay home the whole time? Yeah.
The 80%, of course, stay at home. And these 80%, they have to stay at home and study. Study. How to study about the new society. No. They can go out. We'll teach them how to go out. We'll teach them about the new life, that this new life will be for years ahead, if not forever. That we have to get used to the fact that we're not working, but we're studying. And this is our work, studying.
Work in our culture is basically what defines a person. My career, my job tells a lot about who I am, how much I make, of course.
True. True. Work is an action as a result of which I have corporeal, spiritual earning. I'm advancing. True. And here it's the same.
I become what? A student?
You become a student. You're learning about the new life, new society.
At age 40, 50, I have to drop my career, go back to being a student. That's it. That's an emotional blow.
I don't know, blows or not. Because these things came to us necessarily. The corona is falling on us. And whether you like it or not, you accept it.
What I'm asking is, how do we get people to agree internally to going back to learning about life? Because that's what you're talking about.
That's what I mean, yeah. That they'll get an explanation about where does it come from, why, what for, why does human society have to go through these kinds of changes. What's with these metamorphoses that we have to go through, that we have to take on a new form every time? Why? How? We have to really see ourselves as a changing, growing humanity. What is there about it so much that you can't understand? We went through many changes. Formations, entire complete formations. And now too, we're going through changes like never before, and it is a change that we ourselves see, that we ourselves have to participate in. Usually it comes because we had to go through that. Humanity grew, and we went from slavery to capitalism, suppose. Not even capitalism, but Middle Ages, and then to capitalism, and then to social society, and so on. Now we're also going through the next phase, next stage, where we're stopping to live in order to make a living, in order to make money, but we're starting to live now in order to build ourselves. And it's a tremendous revolution because we're egoists. Up until now, we lived only in order to profit, to benefit and profit off each other. Now we have to live in order to help each other. And this is a very big change.
I don't understand how a regular person who had a job until February, until March, he had a job, he had a career, he had an income, he had some kind of a vision for the rest of his life. And now in June, he's told, no, this is over, forget it. Your life is going to take a whole new direction. It's nothing like you imagined before. And we don't really have a picture of what it's going to be like, you know. So my question is... You
have to teach him? No. The picture is there. Only he can't accept it. He didn't grow up, didn't develop in order to grasp this new picture. But he has no choice. He doesn't. I see these things the way they're going to happen, because this is something that I was engaged in before, and he didn't. So for him, it's a catastrophe. It's something that's falling upon him. He doesn't know where is it coming from. And I do see that that's how it's supposed to be. And that's how it is. And it clothes in this world more and more, dresses in this world.
Can we help people go through the transformation in their vision of life more quickly and easily?
Through explanation. Only studying, explanation, discussions, talks on all of our media as much as we can, internet, mobiles, newspapers, television, everywhere. There has to be explanation for the entire population.
Okay.
You have no choice. I'm telling you, no choice. I see it as having no choice. You won't want to do it now, you'll have to do it, and in a much more critical way later. Because the way things are unfolding, they're unfolding in and of themselves.
Okay, a more specific question maybe. We're nearing the end. Let me ask this. Let's, because people are different people and they all take it in different ways and different paces. Let's say that within a family, there is one person who is having a difficult time going through the transition. How can the rest of the family deal with that person? Because there's going to be a lot of stress, perhaps violence, domestic violence, all kinds of situations, extreme situations in this radical change.
We have to teach all the people how to relate to each other with love and understanding we have entered a collective, common, comprehensive problem, national problem, worldwide problem, and it's not even a worldwide problem. It's a change, it's a transition, a global transition, revolution on a galactic scale, let's say. In my eyes, it's even more. That the human race, that's the most developed in our world, is now going through a transformation like never before. This is the first stage, shifting from the corporeal life where we started running after mammoths thousands of years ago, and now we're arranging our lives in such a way that the collective society, the connection between people will determine now a new order in society.
For conclusion, I would like to ask you to tell our viewers in one or two sentences, what would you ask them to do now in order to help this change happen more quickly?
Study. We have to study, learn about the new life, about the old life. Why did it lead us to this point? We have to understand that these are the laws of nature, that this how they're developing, influencing us, that it's not up to us, but it is up to us how to accept all of this and to suffer less, survive more, accept it in a way where we understand what's going on, working with it hand in hand. And then we will shift into a good life. Because all in all, what is expecting us is plenty and abundance, only not according to what we're used to from before. Where are my millions? Where is my control, power? But a calm life in terms of material goods and a good, useful life in terms of its content, internally, mentally, will all gain and benefit from this. And besides, we have to understand that nature is above us and is taking us through this entire process. Let's not start defending ourselves, but let's go with it.
Dr. Lightman, I want to thank you very much for this vision that you provided us today. I want to thank you, viewers, for watching. And let's all work together to bring this new future, new good future, as quickly and easily and pleasantly as possible. So, Dr. Lightman, thank you very much. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you on our next show.
Thank you.